Hello and welcome to the Radiodrome. On this episode, we'll be recapping the previous episode of the Cinema Snob.
Yeah, you may remember that Brad had to psych himself into snob mode.
I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
The Snob was interrupted by various fake Caligulas.
I think the snob's wife's rack was in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, and there was fisting.
And there was the snob making comedy out of controversial Roman shenanigans.
Ew, that's so gross. I'm gonna make a funny joke about that now.
So without further delay, here is the second part of Caligula, complete with an opening credit sequence reenactment. I have existed for 3 years, and I shall exist for another 3 years. Although I have taken the form of the Cinema Snob, I am all critics as I am no critic, and so, I am, the Cinema Snob. Back for more, I see. I guess the ass stomachs and fisting weren't enough for you. You had to come back and see if the movie still holds up with even more urine. See? Look at that. That's a lot of fucking urine. Oh wait, sorry, it's just Caligula needlessly dancing in the rain. This whole sequence was actually conceived of by Malcolm McDowell himself, and lo and behold, it actually made it into the movie. What was that thought process like? Was Malcolm just thinking to himself, you know, this movie has got penis cakes, little fishes, and a head chopping machine. I gotta naked dance in this thing.
Gemellus! I saw him! He ran away! He wants me dead!
Oh, never mind. That's not Caligula. That's just Malcolm McDowell cracking. The only thing to calm Caligula down in this situation is a threesome with his wife and sister. You know, sometimes I hate being an only child. Oh shit, someone is spying on them. Who could it be? A member of the Senate? A couple of guards? Someone else who could use this against him? Ah, it's two lesbians. Two lesbians who have yet to actually have a speaking line in this movie. Here's where some fun backstory on the film comes in. The movie was originally written by Gore Vidal, who backed out of the project when director Tinto Brass changed the vision of the film to appear more like a political satire. Tinto Brass then had his name taken off the director credit because of about 10 minutes of post-production porno footage shot by Bob Guccione and inserted into the film. That's where this scene comes from. Pointless sexy porno shot by Penthouse magazine and inserted into a movie that is not supposed to be sexy. Why don't you just throw an oral sex scene into Cannibal Holocaust? We don't want the people at that screening leaving without a steel hard-on. I personally find it funny that the writer of the film left, the director of the film left, and the movie was released to audiences who at this point in the movie mostly left. Okay, enough of this scene. It's interrupting the fucking movie. I know I hate it when I get interrupted.
Roman cameo!
God damn it! Caligula holds a dinner for his family and friends to, I guess, celebrate his hiring of professional plate spinners? I'm sorry, is Claudius now being played by Divine? Am I going to expect shit-eating in the near future? Mostly, though, the dinner is Caligula's plan to get rid of his cousin Gemellus.
You took an antidote before coming to my table, which is tantamount to accusing me of poisoning you. That is logic, is it not?
Caligula!
Don't worry, Gemellus. Once the fist goes all the way in, you won't even feel the arm. But Caligula's new image of paranoia begins to upset Drusilla.
He's not even your heir. Caesonia now carries your child.
Oh, have we not established that yet? Anyway, yeah, Caesonia is now pregnant.
Dance!
Dance.
Yes.
And what about your son?
Show Incitatus your new dance.
Yes, if there's one thing you must do when pregnant with a large porcelain bull, it's dance.
Wait, she's dancing for the horse, remember? That's not what the horse wants to hear.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed.
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed.
As if Caligula doesn't have enough issues fucking with his brain, he comes down with a fever during his karate lessons, apparently.
Ew! Is this movie in 3D all of a sudden? Either that or Caligula is now being haunted by the ghost of Tiberius's drunk face.
Feverish and out of his fucking mind, Caligula calls his doctor to his bedside and, well, you know, if you make someone dance to please your horse, the horse is gonna have to put out. I'm just saying.
How embarrassing. Don't you hate it when you accidentally confuse a loved one with a horse?
The real Drusilla comes rushing in to tend to the ailing Caligula. Dude, whatever you do, don't tell her that you confused her with your horse!
Longinus. I want Longinus.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
Caesonia then overhears Kyria and other members of Caligula's cabinet hoping for the death of Caligula, but they still try to kiss his ass.
I offer my life if Jupiter will only spare our beloved emperor.
Jupiter accepts your offer.
Interesting. Was that whole illness just a master plan to get rid of John Goodman?
Instantly, Caligula feels better and returns to work. I'm sorry, wait, is that a fucking basketball?
Ah, yes, I love Roman basketball. That's the game where not clearing the ball means that you sodomize someone without permission, and yet that still gets you 3 points.
This is just one of the many glaring flubs in this historical drama, be it the basketball or the modern map of Europe that pops up in the background.
Not to mention the fact that nearly every penis in this movie is circumcised, something that was not practiced at the time by the Romans. But that one I can kinda understand. Do you want to pay the extra batter money for an uncircumcised penis cake?
So back to Caligula's work, which must be take your torture to work day, because that's all he's doing here, torturing Proculus.
You're an honest man, Proculus, which means a bad Roman. Therefore, you're a traitor. Logical.
You know, that actually makes sense to me.
You know, for old time's sake, why not throw a little lard on that knife? Caligula instructs the torturer to make Proculus die a slow death, which...
I said slowly, you fool!
Oh, thank God, I was just thinking that this scene needed 2 sexy lesbians.
Hang on a sec. Hello, Blip. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I can show 2 lesbians urinate on a corpse. What does it matter how long the corpse has been dead? How did you know I was watching Caligula? You're watching it too? I know, it's fucked up, right? So can I show that? They hung up. Guess they want to see how the scene ends.
It's with castration!
Longinus. Reptile. Cut off those and send them to Livia.
Yes, that's what I want. To have balls delivered to my house by a guy named Longinus.
That's better than what happens to the Shaft.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, nom, 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 nom. It's bacon!
Interesting, too, how the dicks seem to be erect. This movie has so many hard-ons, I'm surprised the VHS wasn't in a clamshell.
Hey, it's Vic, your big box Caesar. And while it's true Caligula was never released in a big box or in a clamshell, the same can't be said for its Joe D'Amato counterpart, Emperor Caligula, The Untold Story, which was released through Trans World Media, the company responsible for giving us the D'Amato-less heir to a film, Robert Ginty Revengeploitation, and a slew of truly classy martial arts films. Caligula The Untold Story went for the reasonable price of $69.95, which is a small price to pay to see a spear shoved up a guy's ass. And the movie finally gives us the true story of how Caligula fell immensely in love with revenge-seeking voodoo priestess Laura Gemser and was actually killed on the beach with an arrow to his chest. Let's open up that clamshell there, sweetheart. It's interesting to note that all the hip kids on the street just simply refer to this movie as The Emperor. This is Big Box Vic saying that if you want to see an untold story of history, rent a film that just makes shit up. But only in Caligula can a cock-chopping scene lead to childbirth.
Alright, let me get this straight. We only recently found out that Caesonia is pregnant. And now she's giving birth?
So you're telling me that in the past 9 months, the only significant thing Caligula did to make it into this biopic is watch 2 porn stars piss away their career? Caligula, hoping for a son to become his heir, is distraught when Caesonia gives birth to a daughter. Well, at least she won't be eligible to play Roman basketball now.
To celebrate the birth of my son. My son. Julia! Drusilla!
What is this, reverse sleepaway camp all of a sudden? Jesus, you're supposed to reveal that twist at the end of the movie.
It's during the birthing scene that Drusilla herself now becomes sick with the fever. Well, that's the last time I try to comfort a sick man in bed with his horse. Drusilla struggles to stay alive as she's being cared for by the doctor, who has yet to actually do anything in this movie except watch people get sick. But once she dies, Caligula has his own method of curing her disease, by licking her corpse.
Unfortunately, you cannot lick something to bring it back to life. Believe me, I know.
Caesar begged you.
That marks the second time that ISIS has been canceled. I may be making jokes here, but believe it or not, in everything that has happened in this movie, in every moment of horrific violence and stomach-churning perversions, this scene is actually kind of moving.
She was my favorite brotherfucker.
With Caligula's sister gone, he takes this as an opportunity to find out just what Roman life is like outside of the palace. And it's mostly made up of people relieving themselves on the side of the road.
I had no idea that pagan Rome was exactly like New Berlin, Illinois.
What the hell is this? Did this guy just come wandering in from the Roman basketball stadium? Fucking shaft heads.
I've come so far in this movie that I now firmly believe that the Romans wore styrofoam cocks on their heads.
How dare you, cinema snob!
The fuck are you talking about?
Don't you dare Nick Phillips me! I know what you did here! You hired all these Caligula impersonators, but you forgot the most important one. One that actually speaks with a British accent. Me!
I didn't hire those people to impersonate Caligula.
Of course not. You hired them for free, didn't you? Doesn't matter. It's not like I wanted to stick my lied up hand up someone's arse.
I don't want you to do that either.
Well, that's good then, because the only one you're getting from me is the one that stars Sylvester Stallone.
Really? A fist reference?
Toodles, you fucking baked potato.
With Caligula gone, Caesonia and Longinus ponder the whereabouts of their emperor.
He could be anywhere.
No. He's here in Rome. He's testing us.
Yes, he's testing you by performing magic tricks in an underground prison. This, by the way, is Caligula's new friend, the Giant. Yes, the Giant. A giant who is technically shorter than Caligula. George Morrison, this guy is not. But at least he has Caligula's back when Caligula declares himself to be a god.
I have existed from the morning of the world, and I shall exist until the last star falls from the night. Although I have taken the form of Caius Caligula, I am all men as I am no man, and therefore I am a god.
This has been bugging me throughout the entire movie. Why is everyone referring to him as Caius when his name in reality was Gaius?
They even go so far as to spell it with a fucking C. When you look at the behind-the-scenes footage for the film, the actors correctly pronounce it as Gaius, as in this pre-dubbed clip.
Although I have taken the form of Caius Caligula, I am all men as I am no man.
But somewhere between production and post-production, they said to themselves, yeah, we know his name is Gaius, but why not name him after Caius Cassius from Julius Caesar? What? John Gielgud was in that movie too.
Let's see how the Senate decides to vote on Caligula's god status.
I.
Nee.
The period of mourning is now over!
He's mad.
Really? What was your first clue? Was it the head-chopping lawnmower? Was it having a man's balls sent to his wife? Oh, no. It's when he made the Senate, bah!
Now that Caligula is a god, it's time for him to do godly things. Though I think his god status is about as questionable as Arnold's in Hercules in New York.
Who are the richest men in Rome? Who? Answer. The pimps.
This is true. The pimps are quite popular in Rome.
To solve all of Rome's financial problems, Caligula has the bright idea to whore out the senators' wives in an imperial brothel located squarely on a solid gold ship. At the time of production, this was actually the largest single prop built for a motion picture. This prop. It's nice to know that the record for the largest prop went to a movie that uses it to showcase midget porn. Some of the senators' wives actually seem to be into this idea.
Harry Nichols. Senator Marcellus, your wife will scare our customers away. Try hot walnuts.
Oh, since when does anyone in this movie have standards? Hello, ass stomach man? I think that the characters here can handle hairy nipples. And what does try hot walnuts mean?
Look around you, this scene has no shortage of nuts. While Caligula's voice is hastily dubbed over post-production porn, we see him pop in from time to time to taunt his men.
Kyria, I hear you have a taste for little boys. Is that not so?
No, she's a big boys.
Oh, nice. Make a pedophilia joke to the guy who starred in Sallow.
I'll have to work out a special rate for you.
In case you've forgotten, my wife's vagina is frequently for sale. Well, with the ship already containing plenty of Moby Dicks, it's time to get this puppy moving.
I'm sorry, is this a fucking musical all of a sudden?
We sail the ocean blue, and associations of beauty, we're so men and true, and attentive to our duty.
Also, I think the giant is trying to walk off with one of the props.
Hello there, I'm the Cinema Snob. Yes, the Cinema Snob. Here to ponder why a movie that features both vampires and RoboCop can somehow be worse than RoboCop 3. I'll stick with real robot movies like Metropolis, thank you very much.
Well, that's trippy. What the hell is going on here?
Oh, wait a minute. Why are you dressed like the Cinema Snob?
I am the Cinema Snob!
No. You're supposed to be dressed as Caligula. They told me that you'd be dressed as Caligula, and then I'd interrupt your video dressed as, well, you.
Who the fuck is they? And why would I be dressed up as Caligula?
You're reviewing it, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but I don't dress up like the characters I'm reviewing. If I did that, I'd be in jail or dead.
Well, that's just perfect. My first time cameoing in one of your episodes, and they fucked me over. They completely fucked me over.
I still don't know who they is.
You know, the movie They. It talks to me.
Great, well that's not creepy. Well, look at it this way. You could have it worse than cameoing. You could actually have to watch the film.
Are you kidding? I love Caligula. If only all of Rome had just one neck.
Caligula's devious plan is to conquer Britain, and by conquering Britain, I mean he marches a few hours outside of Rome and has his naked soldiers attack a field of papyrus cane.
Yes, now that we're done witnessing Liberace's wet dream, can we please get back to the movie?
When no one actually believes that Caligula set foot in Britain, he orders Chaerea to have senatorial Roman traitors arrested. Personally, I just like listening to the names of the senators being read off.
They have failed me.
Marcus,
Arrest them.
Lepidus, Sextus.
No, not Sextus.
As if this movie didn't seem to skip over large chunks of story to begin with, the last act here is really thrown together by attaching random pieces of film to random dubs of dialogue. We have this scene where Chaerea and the others stand around talking about killing Caligula, but mostly their mouths are muffled, such as this earlier similar scene where their voices are just heard off camera.
It's almost like these scenes were created entirely in the editing room.
Hey, whatever makes room for the lesbians.
I guess things can get a little screwed up when you film a movie in '76 and release it to the US in 1980. Hey Snob, 80s Dan here. And you're right, while Caligula was released in most countries in 1979, it did have an 80s release here in the United States. 80s Dan? It's not a real fucking character. What? No. What are you talking about? I'm real. I'm real. Oh, that was disturbing.
Personally, I don't know where this scene was supposed to fit in.
I need you.
No, don't lick him. He's not dead yet.
The movie comes full circle when Caligula is no longer afraid of ravens.
Wait, was that actually an arc in this movie?
Or was it just made to dissolve into the raven on Chaerea's chest, the man who was about to kill Caligula?
Now that is one huge bit of symbolism. I said that is one huge bit of symbolism. Okay, I guess Film Brain used all his satellite power to call me a baked potato.
We see Caligula's son-daughter for the first time since the birthing scene, and she looks pretty big for a 30-minute-year-old. I say 30-minute-year-old because I refuse to believe that between this scene and the birth scene, 3 fucking years have passed in this movie.
I've grown so attached to these characters that I don't think I can see them die. Seriously, how can I break down a death scene of characters that I've spent so long talking about? It's like I'm going through the Stockholm Syndrome of movie reviewing. Please, just someone else talk about this.
Greetings, Kuntai Ted here to talk about the death of one of the most evil rulers in world history. Remember that just because you are leisurely taking a walk along the courtyard with your family does not take away from the fact that you are a sadistic tyrant, and your people probably want you dead. They could be whispering about how jealous they are that you bagged Helen Mirren, or about how you only have a few minutes left to live. When approaching a large man carrying a sword, it's probably best not to say this word.
Scrotum.
It will make him want to stab you. After being bitch-slapped with a sword, your wife may come to rescue you with her hotness, but it's likely a sword can pierce through that too. The torture uses the post-birth abortion technique to wipe out your daughter. And the guard plays Bend It Like Beckham with the severed head of your giant. But you're not out of the wilderness yet, as the soldiers play human shish kebab with your recently deceased corpse. To take away even more of your dignity, your body is given the Gerald Ford maneuver of collapsing down the stairs. And that is the true story of the death of Caligula, minus everything I just said. This is Kung Tai Ted saying, "What's a political assassination without a white horse?"
Thank you, Ted. Glad your knee healed up.
Anyway, that's Caligula. Talk about a happy ending, and what? You leave it on that fucking freeze frame for the ending credits? Oh yes, there's nothing like leaving the theater with the cool, dead eyes of a murderous psychopath staring blood-soaked daggers into your backside. Oddly enough, despite how lowly regarded this movie is nowadays, it was a modest hit at the time of release. The movie broke even domestically with its $30 million budget, due largely in part to producer Bob Guccione doubling the ticket prices at selected theaters.
So the movie was a hit in the same way that some current 3D movies consider themselves a hit.
But aside from its box office receipts, the film was a huge hit on videotape, and to this day remains Penthouse's highest-selling video.
Most video stores stocked this film in the porn section, which begs the question, who in the hell would go to rent erotica and walk out with this sick fucking shit?
So did they have it?
It was right where you said it would be, in the porn section behind the revolving doors.
I told you it would be there.
Yeah, but who expects a movie with Sir John Gielgud to be right there on the shelf between Candy Stripers and Clint Eastwood and Squirty Mary?
Wait, what's that other movie you got?
Oh, The Best of Donald Duck.
Why?
Dude, I didn't want the clerk to think I was a pervert. I rented a porn along with the kids' movie. That way he won't think all I watch is porn.
Dude, you rented a children's movie with porn. That makes you look worse.
How?
For all that clerk knows, the cartoon is just foreplay. Like you're gonna show some kid a cartoon as an appetizer for porn.
At least I rented it. You didn't even go into the video store.
I can't go in that video store anymore.
Why?
A couple years back, I got caught jerking off in the porn section.
Dude!
The movie didn't fare well with critics either, which is as big of an understatement as saying Norbit didn't fare well with Shame. Some critics dismissed it as a laughable relic of a failed effort to bring explicit sex movies to the masses, or a sublimely ridiculous, thesp-filled porno togorama. But my favorite has to be from Roger Ebert, who stated, "This movie," said the lady in front of me at the drinking fountain, "is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen."
So you see? Don't go see this movie because the lady in front of Roger Ebert at the drinking fountain said that it sucked. And I hold her opinion in a high regard.
But the movie is mostly a lot of sex and violence. It's not like it's so controversial to where it's actually gonna hurt anyone.
Oh yeah?
Jesus Christ! How the hell did he end that transmission? Anyway, I'm the Cinema Snob, and thank you for sitting through 100 episodes. And believe me when I say, it was much harder for me. But stay tuned for 100 more episodes, which will include Pierre Kirby, weasels, cannibals, 3D titties, Italian aliens, and more Pierre Kirby. Now that's a tease.
I, Caligula Caesar, command in the name of the Senate of the people of Rome. I, Caligula, Caesar, command in the name of sending people to Rome. I, Caligula, Caesar, command in the name of Rome. I, Caligula, Caesar, command in the name of sending people to Rome. I, Caligula, Caesar, command in the name of sending people to Rome. Rome, Rome, Caesar, Caesar, Rome, Rome, rubbish, rubbish, rubbish.